Now, for Bradford City, it's obviously an incredibly interesting campaign on the horizon. They rejoin League One with promotion from League Two, obviously coming in that sort of top sort of section, and in achieving promotion is a fantastic goal for them. They had some real fantastic results and good runs, especially in that core part of the season, which was incredibly important for their promotion push. In terms of Bradford and where they are with the transfers, Dan, our correspondent over in Yorkshire. Dan, what's your sort of thoughts on where they are, where they need to be in terms of transfers moving forward this summer? Is it a big summer? Is it sort of things they need to just twinge and keep the momentum going throughout the camp, or do they need a bit of a reset, a bit of a stronger side to compete in League One and make sure they are avoiding the drops? So just have a look at where they are, what their ambitions are as well, because achieving promotion the way they did, they are going to have some momentum, but also you have to look at the strength again in League One. Yes, it's probably not got the same investment of last year with the likes of Birmingham City and Wrexham, but still you've got some real big hitters in there who are going to want to make a massive impact. The likes of Wigan, Reading, Stockport being in and around there, Cardiff City obviously coming down as well, Wimbledon. These are teams that are going to want to make a big impact next season. So how do Bristol Rovers go about it? Sorry, how do Bradford City go about it in terms of their transfers and where they want to be?
Well, Charles, for Bradford City at the moment, following what was a chaotic start to the transfer window, things have settled down a bit. Certainly, Graham Alexander was very pleased to get lots of players in early and get them all bedded into the squad, ready for pre-season, of course, which is underway now. They've played their first game, which was a victory away against FC United of Manchester. But I think just for Bradford City as a whole, it's a really positive time at the moment. Transfers, yes, have calmed down and settled down in the last few days, but ultimately they've had a really good summer so far. They've brought in a whole host of new names. I think Graham Alexander said there was about 5 or 6 new players who were in the door by the time everyone was coming back to pre-season. So there's a lot of new faces at the training ground, but let's be honest, it's probably the best way to get them to bed in and gel in, because if they're coming in drips and drabs all the way through, it's going to be more difficult for them to get used to the way things are going when already other players have been enjoying the training and ultimately getting used to the way that Graham Alexander wants them to play. So by having them all come in really early, you're creating a bit more perhaps cohesion. So what's next for Bradford? Well, that's the question. Do they need any more players? Well, you can imagine their business probably isn't quite finished yet, but I'd say it's probably mostly done. I think, as I say, I think they wanted to get things done before pre-season for the most part, at least. In fact, Graham Alexander made very clear that Bradford City had a plan. They had one last summer in terms of how they wanted to get out of League Two, and they've got one this summer, and they've enacted it so far during the transfer window to bring in as many players as they could, and players who they were targeting as well. They're not just sort of brought players in for the sake of it, even though perhaps to the untrained eye it might look like that, because they've ultimately brought in a lot of players. They've all been players they've wanted that will add depth to their squad, but also ultimately quality to their squad, and I think that's really important for them. So business perhaps coming to an end soon enough as we head into mid-July, with August just around the corner now. But I wouldn't be surprised to see the odd one more or two more come into the squad before the start of the season. You know, sometimes deals are there to be done for clubs, and ultimately if the price is good and the price is right, and they think it's a deal worth doing, I think Bradford will indeed shake hands on maybe one or two more before the window slams shut at the end of August, start of September. So ultimately things looking good for Bradford City at the moment. I think their supporters crucially will be happy with the summer they've had. They've brought in, as I say, a whole host of players who will add quality and depth to their squad. And then you have to then look as to what is actually the aim next season. Is it just survival? Well, you'd imagine probably not, given the amount of players they've brought in. I think they want to at least push up to mid-table in the league. Whether promotion from League One to the Championship is on the cards right now, perhaps a bit of a push, but ultimately they're doing all they can to be at least a competitive side in League One, not just a team scrounging around towards the bottom and scraping to survive in the division.